Hey, Chris. Hope you're doing well. You've been through a number of off seasons. This feels almost like it is 3 months or so. What does it feel like to you? Does it feel like an off season? What does it feel like getting back in the gym?
One, it definitely does not feel like an off season. It feels like we're definitely in the middle of a pandemic. Usually during the off season, you're traveling, taking vacations, doing whatever. But this time we've been told to pretty much stay at home and don't go anywhere unless it's like a need be situation. So this one is definitely way different than anything we've ever experienced. But it does feel definitely great to be back in the gym, doing what we love to do.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Hey, Chris. Um, when you when you look at, obviously you mentioned this doesn't feel like an off season. What kind of steps have you been taking to kind of get yourself back into game shape and get yourself kind of back into some kind of flow? Because obviously before this, you were having one of the best seasons of your career.
Yeah, just been doing stuff around the house for the most part. Luckily, I got a little exercise room in my house that I put in that I was able to get some decent lifts in, treadmill, bike rides, stuff like that, just to try to stay fit. But there's nothing you could do to replicate being in basketball shape besides, actually playing basketball. But being able to do that stuff at home has given me a little bit of a I want to say advantage, but a head start of just trying to stay in shape, trying to get stronger, those type of things.
Lori Nickel, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Hi, Chris. I'm trying to picture how the team with the number one record pushing for a number one seed downshifts to these tedious individual workouts. I'm wondering how you or the coaches have kept those interesting or competitive the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different with no type of contact, the way we work out, but we can still do, competition numbers between, the amount of shots we hit during the workout, compare that to somebody else's, or, just focus on our own craft and, trying to figure out a way to get better, just by ourselves. But, we've been doing since we were kids.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
The protocols are there for a reason. I think, it's good and bad. One, there's so many restrictions. Just as far as, a player, we used to have a lot of freedom, especially during our downtime to do whatever we want. And hearing all these rules and whatever, we get it. At the same time, it's definitely going to keep us safe, but it's definitely going to be tough to do. The restrictions they have on us on places we can go and the things we could do is not something that I think a lot of guys are used to, or any guys are used to at all. So that's going to be very different. But as far as, I think I was probably not able to touch a basketball for maybe 2-3 months, which is definitely the longest I've been without a basketball since I can remember. But definitely, like I said, it feels great to be back.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press.
Yes. You're pretty much assured of the number one seed now. I know in previous seasons, when a team has its seeding clinched, a lot of times you rest a little bit in the regular season. How different do you think it will be for you all these last 8 games? How do you expect to treat these last eight regular season games after such a long layoff?
I don't think anybody has, at least the players, we don't have an answer to that right now because we definitely just got back in the gym and got our schedule and the way things are going to be done in Orlando. So I think, once we get down there, we'll have a better idea of how it's going to go with Bud, chooses to do with our team and the rotations and the minutes and whatnot. But at least from a player's aspect, you can expect us to go out there and play as best as we can, as hard as we can during these situations, because that's the only thing we can control, really.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com.
Hi, Chris. Yesterday, Giannis talked a little bit, or not yesterday, when we had him the other day. He talked a little bit about being down there, enclosed area, and you're seeing your opponents, your rivals, all the time. I'm just curious if, with all the time you guys are going to have to fill when you're not playing or practicing, how interested would you be to attend if they allow it, or at least watch other teams' games when you're inside this bubble?
I'd definitely be interested in that. at home, and I watch tons of the games on TV, and knowing that we're not going to have much to do. If there's games that I want to see, why not just go check out a game? One, for fun. Two, just watch basketball, be a fan, and three, just I guess get an inside scout on what that team is doing, on their players and how they're playing and whatnot. But I think going to the games is a good thing. It's a good way to get out the room, find a way to socialize, I guess, in some type of aspect, and just enjoy it.
Follow-up, since this is what we do in speculating about what teams are going to come back stronger and different. Besides your own, is there a team out there that you think might, maybe not an advantage, but somehow look a little different based on this layoff and what they're headed for?
Can you say that question one more time?
Team you think might look different when we see them again? I mean, people talk about Portland, getting healthier, or other teams like that. Do you think that there'll be any team that you might have to look at with fresh eyes when you see them down in Orlando?
I wouldn't say that as much. The only team that I can really think of is about the Nets, about how many of their guys have dropped out already. I think that's the only team you really look at that say they've changed or they have different personnel, because they've had a lot of the core guys drop out for different reasons. But every other team, we faced them, I think 100% at least one time during the season. So I don't think we'll get any real surprise if we never seen this team or we never seen this type of player before.
Thank you. Let's go to Andrew Wagner with the State Journal.
Thanks, Dan. Good morning, Chris. Just curious, at the end of the day, there's so much unknown about the coronavirus, and at the end of the day, you're still just people like everyone else. Is there a little bit of trepidation or fear about going back out there into the world, even in a bubble? And how do you put that fear aside in order to get out there and do what you enjoy doing?
There's definitely going to be some type of caution with this virus out there wherever we're at nowadays. But I think the way the NBA has set up this bubble is going to protect us, better than, being out and about, I feel like. They have so many testing requirements, so many visitor requirements, stuff like that, where, not anybody just can just come in and out and visit and, hopefully not get somebody sick. But I don't think guys are, extremely scared of going down to Orlando because of the virus, but we're definitely cautious a little bit, which I think everybody has to be.
Tim Van Voren, WITI Television.
Hello, Chris. Thank you for your time today. I was doing a FaceTime interview with Kyle Korver way back in March when this whole thing was getting started. And even then, he was talking about silver linings. Have you had personal silver linings to come out of this span the last couple of months?
It's simple as spending time with my family. Last summer I was gone for literally 3 months with the USA team, and I got to catch up on 3 months of family time this time around. But, still might miss another month and a half, depending on when they'll actually be able to come down to Orlando. I think that's really the only thing I could take out of it.
Lance Allen, WTMJ Television.
Hi, Chris. Good to actually see you. You mentioned about the individual workouts and how you guys are being pushed and the positives of it. But is it going to be a little weird when you first get out there and try to do 5-on-5 stuff? And what are some of the things that you're going to have to get used to once again going forward?
For sure. One, you have to be comfortable being around people again. I think for so long, we've been told to stay away from pretty much everybody, which, can play mental games more than anything. And then when you add actually playing basketball game against, physical contact, it takes a while to get used to that pounding, get used to that physicality, all that type of stuff, run up and down the court. It's not something that usually comes back within a week or two. It takes a little bit longer, but the way this whole thing in Orlando is set up, the team that can, pull it together the fastest or the quickest, is going to have the best shot.
Great, thank you. From the West Coast, Dan Woike, LA Times.
Hey, Chris. 2 questions for you. First, how much of the mental preparation for going to Orlando is simply about figuring out the days? And kind of what has your approach been to that, whether it's playing golf, video games? What are you preparing for on that front? And then I guess secondly, in a bigger picture sense, how important do you think it is for the league that Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, John Morant are all three of the young stars in the league? How valuable do you think that would be for those guys? How valuable do you think it'll be for the league, or how exciting will it be for the league to have those three young players getting their first playoff experience all at the same time in the same place?
For the first question, the way it was mentally prepare. I mean, try to stay as positive as you can. I mean, we're in tough times around the world everywhere. Stressful times, I feel like, for a lot of people. And then you add, leaving your friends and family and loved ones for, X amount of time to finish out the season. That's, still a little tough, but at the same time, we just got to stay as positive as we can. I mean, that's the only way I can really put it. And then to your second question with Zion, Luka, and John Morant, those are, great players that, are going to be the face of this league in a couple of years. To have those guys all under pretty much in one city competing for their first playoff experiences, it's going to be fun to see, I think. Exciting times. Hopefully those guys are in shape and ready to play and to put on the show.
From even further west, Kane Pittman from Down Under.
G'day, Chris. How you doing? You were talking about this off-season being really different, and right now there's a marathon on from the FIBA World Cup last year. You're playing Poland right now as we speak, but as a shooter, you came into the season last year. You were in such great rhythm. How do you think this is going to affect the guys like yourself, guys like George, where you haven't had the opportunity to scrimmage through the summer, through an off-season, and come in somewhat cold?
I mean, I actually have no idea. Hopefully we're able to, keep that same type of rhythm that we were in before this season got postponed. But, we just got to, try to figure out through our workouts, try to find that game rhythm as best as we can, because we're not going to be able to get it until we actually play that 5-on-5 once we're down in Orlando. So, I mean, it's just something that we got to deal with and try to figure out on the fly.
Eric Woodyard, ESPN.
Chris, what's good, man? For y'all, man, all season long, I talked to you about this before. The supporting cast. You guys been motivated to show it's not just the Giannis Antetokounmpo show. You doing your thing, Eric Bledsoe. So as we get close to the playoffs, you guys got 8 games prepared. I guess speaking not only just for the team, but for Eric Bledsoe, do you see something like this, a fanless environment where he can lock in and focus, or just you guys in general as being, this a way for you guys just lock in even more so now than ever? Like, you guys have had highs and lows in the playoffs, but, really having this fanless environment locking in, do you see that as a way for not only the team, but also maybe a guy like Eric Bledsoe?
For sure. I think, for him, Eric, and for Bled and everybody else, I mean, we're all we got down there. So, I mean, it's like an extended road trip, basically, where, on the road we realize, we're the we're our family. Spending time together, talking about basketball, talking about other things, whatever, play card games, video games, but whatever we got to do to get ourselves focused as a team to complete our task, that's going to be the most important thing. So just coming together and being there for one another, because we're all going to be going through something when we're down there. We're all going to be uncomfortable about something going down there, but we have to realize that we're all in it together, which should hopefully help us on the court and translate.
And I'll say, just a follow-up, I know you and Bled are extremely close, man. Have you talked to him throughout the time? How's his mindset going into this?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of guys, including Bled, and I think, his head is where everybody else's head is at, is where, it's a tough time going on, but we still have a job to do. We're excited that we're able to, finish the season and have a chance to compete for a championship at the same time. It's nobody wants to leave their family for that long. Nobody wants to, going through these times that we're going through right now, but it's just something that we all have to deal with.
Zor Stevenson, Bucks Digital.
My question was kind of answered with Eric talking about the balancing act that you guys are going to have to do, right? Like there's a pandemic going on, there's social unrest, but then also you have a job to do. How do you kind of keep going back and forth? Where's your head at right now? Like what matters to you right now? And then second question, yesterday, Giannis informed us that he will not be doing his own packing for 3 months. And I'm wondering how you're executing that.
One, for the packing thing, I wish I had somebody that would pack my bags. That would be kind of nice and easy. But I mean, I honestly forgot the first question again. Can you repeat it one more time?
Yeah, so the first question was like, where is your head at right now? Like what matters most to Khris Middleton right now, given everything that's going on in our world?
Yeah, I think the number one thing right now is just, my family, spend as much time as I can with them. I have a young daughter that's growing up that I'm going to miss a lot when I'm gone. So to try to spend all those moments with her, feed her breakfast, the dinners, bath time, stuff like that. Those are the things that, I look forward to now because I know I won't get the chance and I will miss it when I'm eventually in Orlando.
Right, just a few follow-ups here. Malika.
Khris, you'd posted that you were in spirit with your teammates as they were leading that peaceful march in Milwaukee. You've lived in South Carolina, in Texas, in Wisconsin, all over the country. What is your view of kind of the variant stances that people are taking right now on Black Lives Matter? And then also, what is going to be important for you from a racial standpoint to keep in the spotlight as you head down to Orlando?
One for me, I love, whoops, I love that, people are speaking out, people are telling their stories, people are sharing their videos and stuff like that because people don't actually believe it until they see it. I think now when you see a lot of this stuff, broadcast all over, social media or Twitter, it opens people's eyes and they see what's really going on here with a lot of African Americans, what they deal with on a daily basis, and I think this time is really important, especially going down to Orlando, that we still speak on these issues. That just because we're playing the basketball game, those don't get washed in the background or whatever. That we still bring those to the table when we go down to Orlando.
Great, thank you, Lori Nickel.
Khris, going back to the practice court environment or the weight room, I was wondering if you could just bring me in there or bring us and tell us what it's like. Are there other guys working out in pockets in the corners of the court? Or, the reason I ask is the team chemistry has been so good for you guys. So it's hard for me to picture you working in isolation or solitude for the last several weeks. What does it look like?
Yeah, it's been weird. I mean, usually, we have a group of guys in there, and we're all, encouraging each other, talking to each other, joking around with one another, playing music. And now we literally have somebody, following us with a disinfectant spray in the towel after everything we touch. So that's a little bit different and not the most ideal way you want to work out, but right now it's the safest.
Thank you.
Last question here will be with Eric Name.
Hey, Khris. Before play stopped, you were literally one made shot away from a 50, 40, 90 season. Those seeding games are going to count as regular season games. You're going to get a chance to try to have a 50, 40, 90 season. Just how excited are you to actually have that chance and have those games count?
One, definitely glad that, we're able to play a couple of regular season games before the playoffs. I think that's important for us and for a lot of other teams. And hopefully I'm able to achieve that. I mean, that would be, one of the best, shooting percentages or numbers in league history with a lot of, Hall of Fame guys. So to add my name to a list of Hall of Fame players is incredible. And hopefully my guy Dante right here can give me a couple easy ones so I can make it.